My nightmare.
Hey, welcome back, my fellow spooky folks. I'm your host, the horror nerd himself, Troy D. Ryan, and this is Man of Horror, my horror power where I talk all things scary. And today is the season 2 premiere. That's right, season fucking 2. It's wild to think that, like, where the show was or how it started, where the idea came from to where it is now. Um, and this is only season 2. Like, it's gonna keep going, it's gonna keep growing, it's gonna keep getting better, and it's just, I get so excited just to talk about horror, you know? Like, again, I'm a horror nerd, horror connoisseur, horror aficionado, like, I love it. Anyway, yeah, the show is definitely gonna keep going, and I appreciate everybody who's been along for the ride. Horror is, at this point in my life, like, low-key sacred, even more so now that I sort of consider myself a part of the horror collective, Um, with that, let's get into today's episode. I left off last season pretty damn black, so I figured why not start off that way too, right? Today I'm joined by my lovely friend Brienne. She's been on the show multiple times, the chef, the baker from B. Chantel Catering. Um, and we are going to do a toke and review of The Blackening, a black horror comedy that easily took the cake for my favorite black horror comedy. And because of that, before we get into that, I'm going to share my top 5 black horror comedies. So let's get into it. Check it out.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
In fifth place, Hood of Horror. This Snoop Dogg produced film is an anthology movie that shares several quote unquote hood related horror incidents. It's one of those so bad it's good films, right? Like, the film doesn't take itself too seriously, but it does lean more into the horror side rather than comedy. However, it's definitely comedic and, like, the delivery and just the visual and just a lot of it. So it's clearly a fucking horror comedy. But again, it doesn't take itself too serious. It's just a little bit more. It feels like Tales from the Crypt, but from the hood. Like, um, and like I said, what I like about this one, and which makes it the so bad is good thing is the plot, or like the multiple plots rather. Um, it's despite the B movie schlock of it, those plot lines are actually pretty good, so I'll say it's worth a watch. And just remember, don't take this shit too serious. It doesn't take itself, so you shouldn't. In fourth place, Meet the Blacks. Now this one comes from the mind of Mike Epps. Now if you know him, which if you're black you sort of should, but I digress anyway. He's hilarious both in, like, stand up and in films. And this one is a weird mix of standardly funny, like movie funny, and then, like, so bad it's good. Like, I don't know. It's weird because it also does have just actual bad moments. So it's just like a weird mix of several different things. But I think the horror elements are there overall. The jokes and the comedy is definitely there. I think the issue is this film does suffer from too many jokes at some points, actually, but it's still pretty damn funny. I laugh every time I watch it, but the sequel, yeah, not so much. Don't watch that. Nah. In third place, Medea Boo Halloween. Okay, I get it, right? A fucking Tyler Perry Medea Halloween movie. It sounds like it would have been a bad joke at some point, right? Like, that's wild. But now it's a reality. Twice over, actually. um, and it was actually pretty fucking good. Like, not good, like, oh my god, it deserves an award, but it was like, it could have been worse, kind of thing, right? Like, I think there's way worse Medea films in the canon. Um, and with that, it's like both of the Boo Halloween movies were funny, but I think this first one was like, it really is what I like more. Like, I think it was a lot better. It was less pandery. I think the second one was just more just for fun and money and, hey teens, look at this. But The first one was just like genuinely a fucking Medea Halloween. Like I don't know, but um, it definitely has those cheesy moments, clearly. But what I love about Tyler Perry and the Medea characters specifically is that very often it feels like I know them, and the dialogue at times is really relatable. You know, um, but again, it's Tyler Perry, it's Medea, and it's Halloween, so don't take it too serious. In second place, A Haunted House. This one comes from the hilarious mind of Marlon Wayans of the royal fucking Wayans family of comedy. Cause I mean, come on, right? Like, but no, this movie is fucking hilarious, bro. And again, here's the thing with black comedy: the responses for me are so on point. It just reminds me, or like, it feels like I'm just watching people I know. Um, and I think with this movie, the collective black experience, specifically with dialogue, is on display. And some of it is exactly how I talk or respond, and like other people that I know, So it's just, I think it's like my favorite. Well, obviously not my. It's in second place, but yeah, it's just fucking funny. It's a reason that it's up here, and I mean, obviously, come on now, it's from fucking Shorty from Scary Movie 1 and 2, like, of course. Now, in first place, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, The Blackening. Like, yo, this movie it hit so many marks. Um, there's the cast, the comedy, the horror elements, the social commentary. Like, I feel like I could have wrote this movie. I feel like I could have been in this movie. I feel like I knew the people in this movie. I feel like I could have directed this movie. Like, everything about it just felt so real and so us. And it's not to say that anybody else wouldn't enjoy the film, but it's just so specific that you have to acknowledge who it's for. Um, and it just does a really good job of balancing its characters and the plot and ideas really well. It's just, I've been working on it. Like, it was so good that I've literally realized I needed to create a separate rating scale for horror comedy, because based on my standard horror scale, this one gets a 1. But like, it's so much better than a fucking 1. So yeah, I'll probably like re-rate it later in the season. But as of right now, we can go ahead and get into the review first, and then we'll rate based on the regular scale, and yeah, take it from there. Check it out.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
All right, everybody, we motherfucking back for season 2 of That's Right, Love. Oh no, bitch, no, this ain't Love Channel. Wow.
No, wrong one. Wrong show.
Wrong show, nigga. Wrong hole, fool. Okay, run that back.
Okay, that's what happened when you got hacked. Okay, when you
Okay.
put on the new hack. Okay.
It's like, damn, I forgot what job I was doing today. All right. Anyway, so we back with motherfucking season 2 of Man of Horror, and that's HORROR, not horror, because I guess I have an accent, and when I say it sometime, motherfuckers question
Sounds
it.
like horror.
Like, oh yeah, I'm the host of Man of Horror. Oh, what's that? What's that? I'm like, no, horror.
Scary.
Scary. It's just about scary. But yeah, so again, it's season 2, and I ended the last season blackity black. So I figured I'm gonna start this season the same fucking way.
Let's go. Okay.
And with that being said, I am joined by one of my closest friends, literally, like, longest friends, my fucking sister, the lovely Brienne, the chef, motherfucking, just Brienne Chantel, girl, just let them know. Just let these motherfuckers know. Let them know, baby.
All right, let the food speak for itself, okay?
That's it.
Okay.
And if you ain't seen it, definitely follow B Chantel Catering, cause
definitely get TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, B Chantel Catering. Period. I think it's on everything. B Chantel Catering.
Okay.
SHANTEL.
Now with that, today is again the premiere, and I want to do a token review. Number one, so we lighten up. They go to lighter. Hope you hear it.
Okay. Shout out to Lil
And
Wayne.
we gonna talk about the Blackening, which I was so fucking excited. I couldn't wait to like get back to the show to talk about this goddamn movie. And who better to talk to with it than Brienne? Because like she's been on the show. This like what time number 4?
Yes, this is legit my 4th time.
Okay.
So I'm so happy to open the show with you. So excited.
Yeah, you were like the first person I thought of. Like, yeah, let's do it.
Because the movie was so hilarious. It was
So
I
hilarious.
think exactly what the name was. Like, this is some black people shit.
Period. And like honestly, because based on like I had to really, and we'll get more into it later, but like I had to reconsider my rating scale. Like I haven't done it yet, but I think I have to make a separate one for horror comedy because
Yeah.
based on the pure horror rating scale, this falls
Low.
way
So low. It would be so low on that scale, like as if it was a bad movie or something. And it's
exactly,
not bad
and it's
at all.
amazing. It's fucking amazing. I love it. So
Yeah, I think because
I have to
it
make
was so
another.
comedy heavy. Because I mean, us as black people, even in like traumatic situations,
do.
we find release in comedy.
And the crazy thing is, it's not that we're purposely being funny. We are just funny.
We
Because
are
that's what
just
the
a funny
movie was.
people.
They weren't like. It wasn't like you like. I didn't feel like these were written jokes.
Yeah, it wasn't like
It
a
felt
stand up.
this
Like,
is,
oh,
yeah,
let me
this
just
is
tell.
this
Let me bust out
literally
a joke.
this situation, and this is because it's just literally this is how it would be.
Yeah, literally.
The amount of times they said nigga in this movie made me feel so comfortable. Like I felt so comfortable.
Look, okay, so I had made a post on Facebook a few weeks ago. Like, one thing about being black that I just love is that I can say nigga, and not a soul is gonna step to me and tell me I can't say it.
Like that's it.
Nigga. Okay, word to our G.
Nigga, please. Nigga, what?
Okay.
Nigga, who? Nigga, what?
Because they definitely. The movie was so good. I almost had. I don't even think I had a complaint watching it. That was the funniest thing about it.
What it, what I like that it did is it's just what I noticed like a lot of black things have been doing lately that I love is showing our love of horror and science fiction. So like in Lovecraft Country and the episodes here and there, you would hear the characters mention like certain books and like things like that of like these classic like literature and classic films and stuff like that you wouldn't think that or for whatever reason you wouldn't think that black people knew or whatever, but that they do, and showing that knowledge of that. And so like this one had like a lot of that same kind of just feel of like, oh, we know shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
because honestly, when we watch horror movies, especially with like a more white cast, we see them do so many stupid ass things. Even though like we know it's a movie and everything, like we just like black people wouldn't do that. Now we would do our own stupid shit because we are silly ass people. But
right.
That was stupid. Why would you run that way? Like, why would you fall? Get up.
Why are you walking towards the motherfucking noise asking who's there? Or why the fuck you calling out every fucking friend's name one at a time? Jimmy, Bobby, Sarah? Guys, stop playing. This isn't funny.
Which brings me back to the beginning of the movie. And we're introduced to the first two characters of the group.
Love you, biology.
She's in there setting up all the Juneteenth shit and everything like that. And, she hears a noise. And she just started like, Bae, is that you? Like, sis, you black. What you doing? What you doing? You don't look down no dark room and you start calling names. You don't do that. We don't do that.
Sis, we don't do that. It's time to go. Yeah.
Get your shit and let's go. That's what time. Don't even get your shit. Just let's go. And then, like, when he pops back up or whatever and scares the shit out of her, she's like, oh, I thought that was you. He's like, no, I was somewhere else. And then neither one of them questioned it any further after that. Like, you did hear something. He told you it wasn't him, and no one questions it further. Okay, where's y'all not being black right now?
Not at
all. Right. And then, they, doing whatever, setting the cabin up. They go into the, the game room, and they pull out the black ass Monopoly, and it's like
racist ass motherfucking Monopoly.
Racist black Monopoly. Like, what the fuck is this?
Like, With this fucking like I forgot what it's called, but you know like the little the fucking bamboozle looking jigaboo fucking cartoon shit
with the red lips, real black face.
Yeah, I just forgot what it's actually called. I can't think of it right now, but yeah, that shit. And with the fucking pieces, the goddamn.
So her pulling
like
the card, right?
Monopoly, like
her pulling the card. She reads the card, and then you hear the ticking, like you hear it, and then they just going on about it and not thinking shit about it, and then they're also. You know, what was the question?
I would have been like,
oh,
let's wait till everybody get here before we play. Fuck that.
Right, like I wouldn't even have pulled the card. I'm not even doing nothing. Like, first off, this look real creepy because why is this racist ass man? Well, we in the woods already. We already not doing normal black shit on top.
Which is my part when they pull up. Like, well, I will get to that. That part. When they pulled up and that nigga was like, bitch, a cabin in the woods? Really? Like, cause bitch, really?
So they, they pull a card, and the question is like, name a black person that survived a horror movie, and the fact that like there's a nice list, there's a nice list of black people that have survived horror movies, and these niggas said Jada Pinkett and fucking Omar Epps.
But the wildest part is
first in that movie.
Literally, but the wildest part is if they had just shut the fuck up at Jada Pinkett, and if they had to like that part was annoying because she survived in Demon Knight, Tales from the Crypt movie. So that's a whole other movie. Like if they did she is like the main character. Like she makes it to the end and shit. So it's like she's the final girl in that bitch. And it's like, damn, if y'all had stuck that. But it was like, yeah, that pissed me off that they named them. And I'm like, bitch, they die in the opening scene.
The opening scene, literally the first people to die. The first people, not even just the first black people. The first people to die that movie. Like, come on. You got LL Cool J and Deep Blue Sea. You got Brandy, and I still know what you did last summer. Like, come on. You had... But you know what? What I thought was funny, which is why I believe they brought them up, because they were like, no, they died. That they died, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you know what? I think they didn't have the budget to keep them the whole movie.
Like, because they were like the biggest stars in that movie, in this movie. Yeah, that makes sense.
So then they looked at each other and laughed, and I said, "Oh, they're not gonna survive this movie."
Right.
As soon as they it was kind of like foreshadowing for me once the movie was over and everything. I said, "Oh, they," you know what I'm saying? Like it was okay.
That's so funny. Yeah.
And so they let the time go out, and that nigga said, wrong answer," and they were like, "How you even know if he gonna get a wrong answer?" He was like, "Nigga, I know." And it was like. Why y'all still in this room? This thing is talking back to y'all now. Like, y'all ain't making no move. Y'all acting real fucking Asian right now. Like, what's going on? And so then the door slams shut, the lights go off, and she talking about, where my phone? Looking for the flashlight and shit.
Bitch, like, yeah.
Then he talking about, you hear that breathing?
Arrow?
Talking about, you hear the breathing? He's and then dude in there, he shoots the black dude with the arrow right through the fucking throat, so he dies. And then then she's like trying to fight him and shit in the dark. That doesn't work too well for her. And then boom, we don't know what happens to her. It's not really clear if she gets killed or not. We just something happens to her.
But homeboy got that fucking arrow through the neck. That shit was wild. Bitch.
Okay.
It reminded me of Wrong Turn. How they would shoot motherfuckers with them arrows, it just came out of nowhere. It just kind of reminded me of that, like some old backwoods ass shit. But yeah, so then this next part I loved, like the friends riding up to the, riding up to the cabin and shit. That scene was just so fucking just. Like
the black telekinesis in that scene was just everything. Because how often do we just look at each other and know what the fuck?
And it's exactly a conversation. Like
whole conversations are had. Just look.
Yo, I literally just did that shit at work earlier with this girl. Like, because we was like, it's just like this one guy. We just be playing with him. Like, he talking shit or something. Like, I don't know. Like, so we just be like. Joking that he be, I don't know, like bullying people, but he not. It's just like fun because he likes to play along. So she went to like wave at him or some shit, like because it's two. His name is Michael. It's two of them, and so it's like, oh, sorry everybody, this is our last day of training. That Michael was whatever the fuck. I ain't gonna tell this whole story. I'm a little drunk. I forgot we still doing motherfucker. I'm talking like we talking. Um, Point is, I did the black telepathy earlier, and we both spotted how salty homeboy was, and she looked, and I looked, and we looked at each other like,
Oh my god, I'm telling
like
you,
that
it's
shit is
amazing. It's
real.
amazing.
It's
Like,
amazing.
but you know, they all talking about how, you know, it's been a while since they all got together and blah blah blah. And you know, she like kind of like, he like, so who all coming? And he you know, she names all the people that's there or whatever coming, and he was like, 8 people. Well, I hope it's not Namdi. And they look at each other and they like, bitch, you didn't tell me back when Namdi. And she like, no. Talk about, oh, you know you gonna piss him off. He was, what is Dwayne? What is his name? Oh, what is his character's name?
It's the way.
Okay, he was one of my favorite characters.
I loved it. Yeah, he's so fucking funny. He was so funny.
So,
you know what? And that's just a side note part, real quick. The cast was fucking great.
yes,
and
they casted a really good group of people to be friends or whatever for, you know, group of friends. I can believe that they went to college together. I can definitely
I can see all of them just
meeting in college and, you know, generally linking up and shit like that. Like, I can definitely, because that's having been to college and knowing how my group of friends formed, I absolutely can see, like, shit just happened. Like, you end up being friends with the people you never probably thought or nothing. So.
And then some that makes sense. Like, this is it'd be a weird mix. Yeah. But yeah, no, I love the characters. And like, one of my favorite parts outside of that part was like, when homegirl Allison, she was in the back seat, and so she was like, you know, y'all know white people scare me. And it was like, girl, ain't your daddy white? She's like, yeah, I know. That's the point. Like, I'm scared of my daddy, bitch.
Look, I'm cackling. That whole entire ride to the cabin had me cackling.
Yeah,
because she is too funny. She is legit funny. So they get to the cabin, and that's
cabin
when
in the woods, bitch. Really?
Yes, I was just about to say that's when he says that lane, like, a cabin in the woods, bitch. Really, like, ain't we black?
Like, come on. Fucking, yeah. And then nigga fucking took, Homer, like, when they walked in, he took the shit, right? Dwayne?
That's literally when they get to the cabin, that's when he find out Namdi is the 8th person, and that she did not tell him that he was even coming, and then that's when she still lies. Yeah. Like, oh, we just friends, you know, we're just friends.
Fucking.
Or whatever. And, you know, he like, all right, I'm gonna go get my bag, fuck y'all. Right. So, and, you know, everybody goes in the house, and then, damn, Allison goes, and she sees the door, right? Yeah. There's no game room sign on the door. And, because she, you know, she goes
you know what? No, that wasn't it. Yeah, it was like she just saw some, like, shadows moving under it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, she didn't even see the shadow. She just looked at the door after she came out the bedroom. And so she went down, she tried to open the door, which was, again, not black. Why are you trying to open all these doors?
Well, girl, she mixed.
True enough. Her white side was
the
in.
Other side was
okay, you're right. So she tries to open the door, and she's like, all right, this bitch, like, it must be like one of their personal rooms, whatever. Because that's literally what she tells them. Like, hey, you know, all the other bedrooms are open. It's just that one that's closed, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, it breaks out to the groups, you know, small chit chat amongst friends, catching up and shit. So, but then it goes to, what is the girl in the pink? The drunk friend. Oh,
so she was at the store and shit.
Yeah, so it cuts to her going to the store, and that's when she bumps into Clayton.
Yeah.
And she called him everything but his name.
Said, oh, hey,
Clifton.
Yeah, like, dog. But
she was funny as fuck because she saw the white man, like, walk toward her, the clerk walk towards her in the aisle. Why would you pick up an extra bag of chips?
Like, you know what?
If you nervous, because he was looking at her kind of crazy. For sure.
Like a motherfucker. She was nervous as hell. That shit was funny though. He was like, "Do you have an Android charger?" She's like, what the fuck?"
Like, we don't do that. We don't live that life. So, and then, you know, then it cuts to them eventually getting to the house. That's when they're back at the house.
Yeah, but wait, so the other part,
they're starting to take the drugs.
Well, this
Everybody
before
takes the drugs.
before the story, real quick. When they was breaking off, when homeboy, the light skin nigga, and homie, when they went outside to talk and shit.
Oh yeah.
And he was telling him like, I'm a changed man and all that. She's like, yeah, okay, bro. Nigga, you been saying the same shit every 2 years since I know you. Like, and
then
then
the
he
new
started
nigga fucked
saying
up.
the same shit for like repeating him word for word of what he was gonna say. No, I'm telling you, I'm different now. He was looking at this thing like, I heard this.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, I heard
I
all
hear
this.
you, nigga.
I heard
Again,
all
I hear
this.
you.
Like, I heard all this. Cool, bro.
Like, not you saying the same speech every 2 years to the point your friend know exactly what you
Nigga,
about
he
to say.
repeated the whole speech. I was in that bitch dying. But so now we back at the house and they, you know what I'm saying, playing games and shit, having fun.
Come on, Spades.
Like, right, love it. But the way shit was kicking in.
Oh my goodness, him getting up and dancing had me screaming. Oh my goodness, screaming. Like that Molly hit that nigga like it was nothing.
He was like, let's take a shot. I forgot what the toast was on, some like to fake ass friends type shit.
Yeah.
Let's take a shot to lying to our friends.
But it was them shooting
like,
a shot. Like it was like everybody else taking a shot except Namdi and her, and they pushed their shot away. Like nigga, clearly he's talking about the two of y'all.
Right, like.
So he goes to put his clothes in the washer or whatever, and that's when that door like just somehow opened. And he did the black thing you do. Close it.
So he said, "The fuck."
He said. He looked at it. He looked back, turned around, he looked a little bit. He said, "Oh fuck that!" and closed the door. Closed it and locked it. And then here go Shanika. What the fuck is her name?
I think it's Shanika.
Something like that. But and then here she go popping up in the window, scaring the shit out that nigga. He like, come to the door. Come on, I love you. I'm like, that's friends so fucking weird, dog. Like you don't scare the shit out of me, but hey, girl.
What's up? For real.
Talking about you high.
So then, so at this point now they fucking fight. Like, well, no. So first now they all looking like, oh shit, because none of them knew his name.
No one could remember his name. They all knew around what his name was, but no one knew his actual fucking name, which was hilarious. Because they were like, "Wait, who invited you?" Come on, I got
like,
the
well, I guess, right. It's like, oh, invite. And then it was like, because, the other two motherfuckers weren't there, so they just, like, assumed, like, oh, well, yeah, maybe she invited him too.
Yeah, because you remember she said she had got a text, like, we'll be back a little later.
Yeah.
Like, they had got there and they had left to go do something, but they'd be back a little later, so at that point, what were they doing after that? Everybody
they was playing shit. They had that fucking Kool-Aid that was fucking too fucking sugary. That was like fucking
Kool-Aid? Like, what?
That motherfucking syrup ass Kool-Aid.
Okay, with a half a bottle or a full bottle of vodka or something in it.
Dog. Oh.
Like, why would you even do that ghetto ass shit? That's some ghetto ass shit to do. Kool-Aid, half a bag of sugar, and some vodka. That ain't even right, Jesus.
God damn it. This shit is good. I'm sorry, y'all. But yes. So then, at this point, they find a fucking game.
Yeah, the lights go off.
Yep, the lights went out and shit.
So now they looking for like a breaker room or something, and then that's when they go in the hallway, and they were like, she's like, that sign wasn't on the door earlier today. Like, I know it wasn't in, what the fuck? So that's when the light skinned dude walks up to the door, and because she was like, it's locked, and he was like, no, it's not. He just opened the door. They go in, the lights pop on. She like, so the lights just come on and off when they want to? Okay. They like, look at this shit. Right. And then, he picks up the board game and shit. And then, of course, the curious mixed girl, Allison, she opens the bag with all the pieces in it. And she like, we here to play games this weekend, ain't we? So, of course, it's some... She like, what is
they look at the board game, the pieces like, what the fuck?
Right, and then that's when Dwayne says, I found her earring, and they were like, this was her grandmother. She would never take these off.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, so this some weird shit. And then that's when, like, the little TV and stuff start popping on, and all the rules and stuff about the game comes on, and they see her tied up in a chair.
I love it because it reminded me of like some Saw type shit.
Yes, it definitely did on some jigaboo ass shit.
Yeah, it was like literally like Saw meets racist Monopoly.
So at this point, I had already figured out what was happening in the movie and who was gonna be behind everything, based off one of the scenes with the friends linking up, and then also the way the little jigaboo face thing is structured.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what was going on as far as like who was behind it, but I didn't know why just yet.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm like, since old girl and dude never resurfaced, of course, because he's dead and we don't know what happened to her just yet, and he keeps saying certain things, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get what's going on.
Yeah.
So they played the game, and look, I'm like, not her busting out, lift every voice and sing second verse that I don't ever remember being taught it.
I didn't remember that motherfucker. I'm like, whoo, bitch.
Look, I know the first verse. Verse was
died. I would have been dead if it was.
Okay, and then the friends question had me screaming. The ants like
that is my fucking favorite one. It was name 5 black cast members, 5 black characters or actors who have been on Friends, and so every time they answer, it's like, oh,
I never seen Friends, but Aisha Taylor was Ross's and Joey's ex-girlfriend.
Right. Oh, is that show about those friends in New York? Oh, I ain't even watched it, but I know Gabrielle Union was on there one time. It was like shit like that. Like everybody's answer was like, "Oh, I didn't really." So it's like low key, because then like the answer was like, wrong. The correct answer is, "Oh, I don't watch that show. I watch Living Single." And I'm like,
when I say I
screamed, literally.
Oh my god, I cackled. Dog. I said, "Stop!"
I yelped. I fucking yelped. Like, I
could not. Uncontrollable laughter, bro. It just made me giggle because that was a trick question for your ass.
Yeah, but it was like they should have got half the point because they all low key said that's what it was like. They all low key literally said they didn't watch.
Now, I ain't gonna hold you. My sister loved her some Friends, so I used to watch Friends with my sister growing up.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I've never rewatched Friends as a grown adult. I never I never been. But I know people that just happen to see a clip or something like that, so they can tell you about a little bit about an episode. So they may have seen one black person on that. So it's like, damn, we don't watch it, but we know a little bit.
But see, okay, I would just tell my friend's story because when I first moved out to Arizona, like it was just like this one night, like new city and shit, and like the friends that I had, like they had lives sometimes too. So it's like I was still building mine. So sometimes I'm like just be the fuck by myself in a whole new city. So it would be nights where I was just like, shit, I'm a little lonely. Like, damn, I don't know what to do. And I just like said, fuck it, let me just watch an episode. I watched the whole first season that night. Like, I was like, this shit is amazing. And I felt like they was my friends. I was like, well, I'm a friend too. I'm a friend too. Like, so, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely like, but it's funny because obviously I knew all about Living Single. I ain't know shit about Friends. Like, I was a full ass adult, and once I finally was like, oh, let me watch Friends. Like, I didn't know.
It was the Aunt Viv question about how many seasons was Dark Aunt Viv on.
He's like, wait, so how old was Lil Dicky? What she had? Like, it was like the question.
And it was like everybody was like, the most random thing. They was like, she had Nikki in this season. Ashley was singing in this season. I'm like, what the fuck does any of that got to do with Dark Skin Aunt Viv? And Dwayne was like, 3 seasons or whatever his answer was, and they was like, "You sure?" He was like, "Yes, nigga."
Like, cause I know that shit too. Like, that's exactly how I would have answered. Like, yeah, nigga. Like,
man.
And that's the point. Like, and so much of them was
the Nas question when they asked him about the one mic question. How many? I can't remember the specifics. But him breaking that down. It was them looking at the what is his name? The light skinned dude. I can't remember none of their names for real.
Yeah, I can't even.
But they looked at him and they were like, he was like, "Why the fuck y'all think I come here, Doche?" I forgot this damn dog was even out here with me.
Oh shit.
She just walking casually down the street.
Dog, that's funny.
Anyways,
but yeah, I forgot his name. I think it's like
Nick. It's Nick. I think it's Nick. But they were. He was like, "Why would y'all think I know?" They like, "You the gangster." He was like, "I don't know no fucking not."
What, was that the question when that nigga went into all that math and shit?
Yes.
Yes, that nigga went into the whole ass motherfucking like Adderall, goddamn. Fucking like.
Yep. One mic, one pen, plus this and that, and I was like, "No, that's sweet because I don't. That's sweet because I don't remember that bar. Like I remembered the bar, but I don't remember the bar."
Right. Like okay, yeah, do that shit, bro. When they was like, okay, we have to get. But that's what I was gonna say real quick too. Like what I also loved about the movie, like how I was saying, like it just felt like they were just speaking. A lot of the responses was like I was saying the shit at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was literally like, nigga, like when they like, so it was just like, it was so, yeah.
It was full of black pop culture for sure. The questions.
It felt like it was so us.
Yeah, it really felt like that could be anybody's black group of friends trying to figure. This is like some escape room ass shit, but black.
For real.
And at that
it was
point,
like, okay, they gotta kill. Like I forgot what specifically. That was like all those other questions before the friends one, because after the friends one, that's when they lost that, and then that's when like they saw the video and like Morgan got attacked and shit.
The wig coming off, right? Okay,
yeah,
let's talk about Morgan being attacked.
So
she's tied to this chair, and he's like ripping her wig off, and Shanika is like, "Oh, that's some good ass glue." You know what I'm saying? Like, cause her wig was holding on, baby. It was holding
like a motherfucker. But what I love about it was like the double play on it, because obviously like it's a nod to horror of people like getting their scalp peeled back. But for a black woman, okay? Bitch, it's getting her wig pulled, and she was in that bitch like, ah!
Like, my ass that shit had me cracking up, because I'm like, not the wig. Come on, wig. And then, but why did it take him so long to think about shooting the door? And then which made it even funnier.
This whole time we've been here.
Yeah, Namdi was like, "You had the other." He was like, "I told you was strapped." He was like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah." He said, "I ain't completely changed." Because he got a white wife now. He like, he in this whole different element or whatever. And that shit had me crying. So he shoot the door a couple times. But you know what? The entire time they were trying to get the door open, it's like someone is watching the TV. And whatever she says, Allison repeats it. Then Shanika repeats it to everyone else, and they repeat it. And then it's just like, it keeps flowing that way. Like, he behind you, girl. He behind her, y'all. He behind you, Morgan. It's
like, dog, that shit was...
Dog, I was screaming.
I love that, yeah. But it was so smart.
I was literally screaming. And then so... she gets, Morgan gets killed or whatever. The door pops open after he shoots it, and then
but you know what? That was the part I forgot. We did miss when they were like, "You had to kill the blackest person in the room."
No, they didn't even get to that part yet. Remember, that came after Morgan died. They had to go back and play the game again. Yeah.
So what was the question? Because it was a different question then, and it was something like when he was like, "I voted for Trump twice," and it was like, "Nigga, like." Yeah. Get his ass out of here! Oh yeah, that's what it was. That was the question. It was the blackest person in the room, and so everybody was like fighting.
So that was after Morgan. That was after Morgan dies. So they were like, "We're not playing this game no more." He was like, "Cool, bitch, sudden death then." Yeah. He says, "Okay, so you got to pick who is the blackest person in the room to die," and then they start going back and forth as to why people were the blackest,
like,
and they were like,
"You say nigga more than anybody I know, nigga."
He said it was the gay. Look, all their reasonings as to why they couldn't be the blackest person in the room had me screaming. Because Allison said, "Hold up. Now, any other time y'all tell me how white I am, about how white my daddy is, and today I am the blackest person in the room, I think the fuck not. And she had, I had to be on her. I had to be on her right ass side because
that's true.
She
that's
right.
True,
She literally can't even be the blackest person in the room. Sorry.
And then homeboy, I felt him because I don't know where the rule came from, but because it was a thing. Somebody said that shit in Scream 4.
Some shit like that.
But homeboy in Scream 4 said that shit like, I'm gay, don't kill me. You can't kill. Like, the only way, like, it was like a rule, like, only way to survive a horror movie nowadays is, like, you have to be gay. Or, like, some other shit. It was like, bitch, where? Like, but he was like, well, I mean, I'm gay, so...
Yeah, but his reasoning behind it, he said, usually I would not agree with, but today I will. My family said that this is a white man's disease and blah, 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 blah. And I agree. You can't kill me. And I fell out. I fell the fuck out. I'm like, I've never heard that one before, but that had me screaming.
Yeah.
And Namdi was like, can't be me. They was like, nigga, you're from Africa. He like, nigga, I'm from Oakland. They like, that don't help.
Like, nigga, that don't help. For real.
Like, Oakland ain't black as hell.
Oh boy, like, I got my white wife. Like, nigga, alright. Like, they literally all had, like, and that nigga, I voted for Trump. Twice. Nigga. Like, they're like, nah, get his ass out of here. Fuck him.
They like, oh, hell no.
So yeah, obviously they voted for him for that bullshit, because, like, what?
And then, okay, so at this point, for me, I knew Clifton was behind it at that point, for sure. Yeah. Because, it just didn't feel like he really died to me when they sent him outside to get shot. Something just didn't feel real. I said, this is just a signifier for sure that this nigga is... So the way his mouth is shaped, and then I looked at the way the little jigaboo thing was shaped, and then the mask of the man with the bow and arrow. His mask was also shaped the same way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I peeped all of that. So I'm like, okay, y'all gonna get to a point where Clifton's gonna pop back to, or whatever the fuck his name is.
My mind thought about it
nobody called him by his name.
The moment he was at the fucking store, because where did you come from?
Yeah. Like, yeah. He creeped me out then. He gave me weird, creepy vibes then. I paid attention to his mouth like, damn, did he have a stroke or something? Like, what happened to that nigga?
Oh, hi. You're trying to go down.
Yeah. It gave like I had a stroke. So I'm like, that's weird. Yeah, but it made me think back to the opening scene when they played the game. I'm like, that little game thing, the voice also, if you pay attention to that's his voice.
Damn, I need to rewatch. Okay, I'm gonna be watching it now. Ooh, I love it.
So I'm like, I don't like. It sounds like his voice, like a like a corrupted version of his voice a little bit, but it sounds like his voice. And so like when he goes out, when they pick him and he has to go outside, and I'm like, I just feel like it's him or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
I love this whole moment forward was funny as hell. Like in a little separate like groups and shit. Like,
yeah,
and that's the other part I love about the movie, because they were able to just like break off and still be funny. She was like, "Yeah, I don't want to say it." He's like, "No, you bet not."
Like, I know y'all gonna say it's my white side kicking in, but because at this point,
we should.
She Nick got shot with the arrow when dude came out the door twice.
Oh, she got the fucking Adderall.
Right. So, but I'm saying, what happened? Why she even got the Adderall? Nick gets shot in the chest with the stupid arrow after he shoots through the door.
Yeah.
Because why would y'all black asses stand in the dark doorway waiting for the bad guy to come out? Talking about Morgan, you there? No, she ain't there.
Also, they should have just like got his ass. Like they should have jumped that nigga, because the arrow he got to do one arrow at a time. Somebody gonna get hit. Sorry, but like sacrifice it, bitch. I don't know.
As they get the door closed, she like grabbed a knife. She grabbed the knife. She stabbed him in the foot. They got the door closed, and that was when Allison. They they helped him get the damn second arrow out him. Yeah. So and that was when she stabbed herself in the shoulder, and that was how she got the Adderall.
And that's when Shanika was
accident.
like, "Oh, okay, here I got some like painkillers and shit in my purse and shit." Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, at this point, no one knows she's off Adderall. None of us paid attention. Like, she didn't mean to get that girl Adderall. Yeah. It was literally meant to be something else. So,
But she
So
definitely
that's
was.
like after that scene, she pops the Adderall, and then that's when she, right before it kicks in, she like, yeah, I don't want to say it. Like y'all gonna think it's my white side saying it. She's like, you better not say it. We gotta break up.
She was like
We
about to
gotta
throw
break
up.
the
She's
day of
like,
sudden
I
death.
think we need to. It's like, you better not say that stupid shit.
But I
We gotta
mean,
split up.
we gotta split up. And they like,
Like,
oh
niggas say
hell
that
no.
dumbass shit. Hell no. Like,
They like, okay, like who gonna stay outside? Who gonna stay inside? Like, and they figured that out.
so I think my favorite group was Shanika, Nick, and Allison.
Yes.
I loved it. The one of the parts was like, he said, what the fuck he said? It was like Rosa Parks. He was like, will Rosa Parks sit down right now? And she was
Right.
like,
So this is when
that's
they realize.
literally
So
what she did.
before they go outside, this is when she realizes she accidentally gives this girl Adderall because he asks for painkillers too.
Yeah.
And he looks at the container before he takes it. He said, "This Adderall, girl." She said, "Oh shit, you serious?" And then they look at Allison, and they like, that's when it started hitting right before
Like
they run outside. And that's when she
focus.
She get all weird, and so she gave Nick the the painkillers or whatever. So now they running outside and shit, and then she just like sits down. Like, why are you sitting down and y'all supposed to be running from the nigga with the
Rosa Parks sit down right now? That's literally what she did.
She literally just sat down crisscross applesauce on some, I'm about to meditate, y'all. I'm going to figure it out. Y'all keep going. And she like, what, or whoever said it, like, will Rosa Parks have sat down? She like, that's exactly what she did.
That's exactly what she did. Like, bro. Bad analogy, homie. Bad analogy.
Like, terrible analogy. And then she like, I can't even remember what Shanika said to get her ass up and going, but she got up a little for a second, and they started running again. And then she eventually sits down again.
Well, I think
it's
because the killer was coming, and yeah, she was sitting down and like they were going to the water or some shit. Because Shanika ended up in the fucking water.
Oh right, she ended up trying to swim to go get help.
Yeah. And fucking Nick was fighting the killer. And she's like, yeah, fuck this bitch in the water. Like, fuck him up. Yeah. Beat his ass. Like, and he was for a second. Until the nigga started getting stupid.
And then here come Adderall Queen Allison. All fucked up after she done put camouflage on her face with the dirt.
Shit started kicking in harder.
Start whooping his ass.
Yeah.
End up killing him. And that's when they notice this not the killer with the stab foot. It's two killers. That means there's a killer still in the house.
Yeah.
So she like, we gotta hurry up and go back to the house. Nick like, dog, I'm about to die. What are y'all talking about? He about to pass out, literally.
We're fighting and bleeding and shit.
Right. So they go back to the house, and at this point, the officer comes back to the house. And that's when Namdi, old girl, and Dwayne run out the house, and they all got weapons. And he like, I'm here to help. And they like, how do we know if that shit true? And they look at each other, and they all just drop the weapons and put their hands up. Because what do you do? Do you get shot by him, or do you get shot by the bad man? Because we don't know if you the bad man. We don't know if you a cop. But either way, we gonna get shot.
Right.
So let's just drop our weapons. Yeah. And that's, they go to the car. He like, I'm about to go check something out. Always a bad thing.
I'll help y'all. He's, come follow me. And they picked this shit up. It was like,
right. They definitely picked the weapons back up. Right. Okay. Gotta make sure we stay strapped. They get in the Jeep. He talks about like, oh, I'm about to go. He hears something or whatever happened. So he gets out the Jeep and goes and checks something out. And like, she's sitting in the front seat and she finds the mask. He runs, at some point he comes back to the car and he's like, let me in. I can't stop him. And they like, nigga, the mask. He said, that's why I came back. I found the mask in the woods. Right. And, he gets shot by an arrow. Yeah. Dead as hell. Window bust.
Yeah.
So they all jump out the car trying to, get away from the arrows coming into the car. And Namdi and the old girl end up behind one car. Dwayne's by himself in the other car, and he does leave me. Do go save yourself type shit. And them niggas really left him there. I said, now y'all know damn well his black ass ain't mean that shit.
Yeah, I know he gonna talk shit if he see y'all again. I literally said that. I was like, well, y'all know
if
if he see him
Dwayne
again, he gonna
died,
talk
I'm gonna
shit.
be pissed because why would y'all leave him out there? So they, it cuts to them being in the air draft or the air ducts. That shit had me screaming because how the fuck did y'all get up there?
Like, I did not understand. And how did y'all do it so fucking quick?
So, they're in the air ducts talking like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I left Dwayne. He's like, Nambi like, he told us to leave. He like, yeah, but that's still my best friend. And then, they like, shh, here come the killer. And then you see the killer walking around, coming up the stairs. He kind of looks at the air duct, but not for real. And then, you hear the record player come out.
Yeah.
And so he goes back downstairs or whatever. And then, boom, here come Dwayne. Like, I know you motherfuckers didn't just leave me outside.
Like, y'all know I ain't mean that shit.
That man screamed. I said, I know that's right, Dwayne.
I know. Yeah, I was like, hell yeah. So you know I ain't mean that shit. Like,
you know I ain't mean that shit. I can't believe you really left me.
I loved it.
Oh my goodness. That shit had me screaming. And it was them being in the ducks, everybody in their phones still having their, everybody forgot about their phone ringers being on because now he got to figure out where y'all are hiding. Yeah. So he flips off the jammer he have on and all y'all phones light up, ding, ding, ding. This nigga says, Keke Palmer like my tweet. like this nigga not trying to come kill you, and what you worried right now is about some Twitter shit.
I mean,
classic black behavior.
Sometimes you gotta get the tweets off. You gotta get the tweets off there. I get it.
Man, what? It's always the thing when your favorite celebrity or whatever,
like somebody like your shit or follow you. Shit. It's like, oh my God. Yeah.
Cracks me up.
But yeah, so
him growing up on him though.
All like caught up obviously from their phones and shit. And homegirl like kind of just go off and shit. Like and beat the shit, like embarrass his fucking.
Oh yeah, but that's after Dwayne throws up on him, and they all trying to fight him, and then something happens.
Yeah,
she just literally beats the shit out of that nigga with the candlestick. Yeah. She beats the shit out of that nigga dead with the candlestick.
Like, why black women always gotta protect motherfuckers anyway?
Okay, black women always gotta be the saviors. Okay. But at this point, the movie still has like a good half an hour left, and I'm like, okay, so where's homeboy? Like, it's got to be something else. It got to be a why to all of this. At this point, yeah. So I'm like, okay, something else has to happen, and that's when they're like, y'all, we found this room where you got all the surveillance stuff and how they was controlling everything, blah blah blah. Yeah. So they all go to the and again, why would we all go to the basement? You leave, and then you leave the one injured. You need the super injured nigga and the chick that's high off Adderall upstairs by themselves to look out while everyone else goes into
shit. She hell of an alert. She can protect him and look. That Adderall is a strong mother. It depends on how many milligrams she took.
Okay, she took enough because she was in that bitch like the Matrix. So right, she hands Dwayne the cayenne pepper or whatever, and he look at her like thanks, nigga. I guess.
Right. Okay.
She's like, it'll help you. Cause that shit had
like gathering sticks and shit. Like she was on some shit.
She was on some shit. That Adderall was kicking her ass.
Man.
So he like
I understand because sometimes.
Okay, but they go into the basement and he fake dead at the table. He pops up. Like, haha, niggas, it was me all along. And I'm like, all right, get to the why, my nigga. Because I need that.
Yeah, I would say for like 2 seconds I was fooled because when they walk in the room, like, his body is right there and it got an arrow through it. And I was like, oh. Okay, maybe it's not. And then, like, it was only for like 2 seconds because then I was like, nah, because what a blood, bitch. Ain't no blood over there.
You feel me? Like there was like no real like it just wasn't given he dead. Yeah. It just never gave he was actually dead.
And it's like I'm learning if you didn't see it. What did they say in that movie?
No, I learned with Shonda Rhimes along.
If you don't never see
the body like really be dead, they not do it. Yeah, I learned that with Shonda Rhimes a long time ago. You can't play me with me after Shonda Rhimes played with me with Quinn when she was locked in that basement.
Woo.
I thought she was dead that whole time. Oh, Shonda Rhimes taught me a story that day. I mean, she taught me a lesson that day. If you don't see a body, like a real body, like a dead body, they not dead. They not. It's very possible they not dead for real.
And that's like,
And all we really
I
did was
forgot
see him
what the
get
fuck I
dragged
was
off.
watching recently, but it was literally a quote like, "If you didn't see it, it didn't happen," and it was like because like, fuck, what the fuck is Escape Room? Escape Room. There we go. Escape Room, the second one. Like, anyway, that's the point. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't fully, and it was like we didn't even see that happen. Like, not for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what they carried his body
Right,
to
and
come
this is the
sit
thing.
him there.
It could have
like,
been recorded.
Yeah.
It could have been recorded of him. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't have to be real time. They didn't know if that was real time or not.
Yeah. But so okay, but this is like, you know, the climax, and like I love the point, like the fact that in the end, the shit was about spades.
It was about spades.
Like, so like, you know, he like, yeah, like, y'all don't remember me, but in college, you know, this one night, like, and it's crazy because like that story, honestly, and that motive, it reminded me of like some like Veronica Mars, like 90210, like classic like teen like drama type shit, because that shit happens and like shit like that, or like, you know, even it just like, well, yeah, just like old teen dramas and shit like that. So it was just like this idea of like one bad night that just got worse and changed his whole fucking life. So it was
Oh
like,
my goodness, and he blamed it on spades because he reneged. Like you got super drunk because they made fun of you because you reneged, and then you killed someone.
Like,
and somehow it's their fault.
But like, so like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like him saying like, you know, like they were doubting his blackness, and like I get that. Like, personally,
oh yeah,
I always
definitely people do that.
Yeah, I actually had this conversation earlier because it's like, it's wild that like blackness isn't necessarily something that could be quantified, but it's like there's just a certain, I guess, energy or a certain knowledge, like just like, because it's like almost like a collective experience without us ever having to. Oops. We'll get on the phone, die. Gotcha.
I don't know what happened, but I know my phone button though, so we'll plug it up.
But yeah, so like, you know, it's not something that you can necessarily quantify, but it's just like a collective experience, and just like a almost a way that like we carry ourselves, and just like certain knowledge that we have without knowing each other, without being around each other, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just like, and that is the thing that happens. So you know, it is unfortunate because I remember I never struggled with it because I knew I was like, I never felt like my blackness was in question because I was always around fucking black people. I was like, nigga, I don't know how, bitch. But it was like because of me being educated, which is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was the nerdy black kid, like, you know, this shit like that. So it's like different reasons. So like for that, I understood. But it's just like I never personally again had my blackness per se questioned. But it was like funny, and like his sense of like being like, y'all was always doubting that I was black, and then this one night you do like one of the biggest like offenses, like
it was, what did he say? He was like, it's not like we took said you weren't black. He said, no, y'all literally took my black card.
You literally took my black card. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, we literally
like,
hand out cards, quote
twice.
unquote, like imagination, like imaginary cards to motherfuckers. Like, and you know what I'm saying? We all have our card, and it's just like, again, like certain shit, and it's just, and that's a whole other episode, or not a whole other episode, but like a whole other topic, probably a different show. But the point is, I understand his motive in that sense of being, of tying everything from that moment, because now, okay, I'm so riled up, I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, I don't feel like I belong here. Mm-hmm. I'm about to just get fucked up, and now I leave, you know, and that's when, you know, I accidentally kill a bitch, and now I go to jail and all that shit for you. Like, you know, like, And yeah, again, that plot is very like some 90210, like Veronica Mars. Like,
Oh, it's definitely on some standard revenge
yeah.
shit. Like, you bullied me in high school that one time, or that one thing I remember that catapulted my life into misery, and I blame all of y'all for it.
Yeah. But in the end, like, I love that they finally collectively fought the motherfucker. Like, came together.
No, so
kinda-
before they could even do that, it was the telekinesis that he heard because he's black.
Oh yeah, because he's black. Yeah, I forgot that part. He's like, you guys know I heard that, right? Yeah, I forgot. Yes, that shit was funny as fuck. Like, you guys know.
Oh my god, I'm like, he's black.
Like,
why would he hear this?
and that's the point too. Like, y'all a little like, just because he ain't the same. Like, he's black. Like, yeah, I love it.
Oh, you heard that? Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah, but and then that was pretty much the end. Pretty much at that point, then they just kick him down a well and he dies. And
them trying to figure out how to call the police.
Yeah, I was saying, did they call like they trying to get to the?
They were literally trying to figure out how to call for help after they all survived, except they two friends.
Right.
And it's like, so how do we call the police without getting shot?
Cause like, who the fuck gonna believe all this shit? Like,
but it's the fact that all of them had rolled up. Everybody had a joint. Everybody.
It's like, wait, that shit is because that's some bullshit. It's some bullshit.
And then it cuts to the last clip, and he has a yellow jumpsuit. Dwayne is now in a full yellow jumpsuit, complete outfit change.
Yeah.
And they like, is it me? And she like, I know I'm not. I know I'm hot, but did you change clothes? He said, yeah, we might be on TV.
I love it.
Then here come the fire department, and what happened anyway? They get sprayed down like some dogs. But I'm just like, bro, this is so silly. Because the anticipation of if one of them would die again was always there in the movie, because you never really knew.
Yeah.
No one else died outside of the two first characters.
Yeah. And so that kind of leads to the rating part of it. Like, I'm like, okay. Because, again, now, like we said, it's a fucking great movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fucking loved it. But based on the horror rating scale, strictly, it falls short. I can literally only give it a 1. And with that, I give it 1.5. With giving it watchability and creativity, because I put those together. And then the half is for killer fear factor, because it's like, racist motherfuckers is always something scary.
But the fact that Dwayne when they went through the killer's pockets and they found the envelope with all their like initials on it, and it was like $100 per person, they was like, it's not even $1,000.
Like, yeah, that's all
I am like, and then he pockets the money.
Oh, he was like, I am so offended. Put it in his pocket.
Like, not you collecting the $800 that they used to get you in there.
I mean, shit, why not?
You feel me?
But yeah, so with that, so I'll probably do something like later in the season of like a rescale, just specifically for this movie. But with that, the 1.5, and like, so then like just to explain further, because kill count, nobody fucking died, and then like
literally we only had the 2 deaths of the first 2 people, and then the deaths of the other 3 people. So 5 people total died in the
And so it's like, I thought about that, but then I rethought, and it was just like, but I don't mind, because I love this cast. Like,
I think that was kind of the point of it, that that they wouldn't that they would mostly survive.
And that was like, as I'm thinking about it now, that's the tagline on the cover. Like, we can't all
die first.
Yeah, at first. Yeah, so it's like, we just not all gonna die. Like, that's it.
Saying like we all can. Also, it was just like kind of like I said earlier, we'll watch white people do a lot of silly things and get killed in movies, and that end up, the silly thing they did was why they end up getting caught and killed in the movie necessarily. But like when Dwayne was like, leave me, whatever, he like, I'm not about to get shot out here by myself. I'm about to figure out how to, get away.
Yeah.
So, he made a plan to, and he knew how he knew where they were hiding. It's beyond me. But he kind of figured it out and was able to go hide with them because it's better strength in numbers than him being by himself. Or he could have literally just like jumped up and tried to run with them and got shot in the process, like
Right.
what you would see a white girl do in the movies. Like, why would you
good.
kill?
I think they are. I don't think it would have worked without any other characters. Like, that's literally the point of that one. So, as I couldn't give it kill count, so with that, obviously no gore. And just
the
all the other ones
goriest
that
thing
didn't
was
work.
old dude getting shot in the throat, and that was in the dark.
And I could give it cinematography just because like it wasn't, and again, that's not bad. It wasn't focused on having a specific aesthetic, right? Like on how things looked. So it was just like a standard, cabin in the woods kind of feel, which again, amazing for what the film was. So yeah, I'll probably redo that. But with that,
I'm gonna tell you, like, comedy wise though, like,
yeah.
it was at a 10. It kept me laughing the entire
the whole time.
While also keeping me in, because I was like, dang, I just really hope because you end up connecting with all the characters. You like, dang, I don't want nobody to die. We never want the black.
I don't feel like that. It's always somebody. I'm like, oh, kill his ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's always
Loki,
somebody like you could die. I didn't feel like that about any character in the movie. Even the weirdo, I didn't even feel like, oh, he should die. Like, at no point did I feel that way.
Even Clifton, like, I didn't. It was just like, okay, I mean, it's just a little weird nigga. Like, because we all
just weird.
Because we
everybody had weird nigga into high school, and most of the time they was cool. Actually, they was just a little weird.
Okay, it's always just like a good 4 or 5 of them little weird motherfuckers. And it's cool.
It really is. It really is. And honest to God, they really do be cool. They just
I would say they
be a little out
there. Fucking weird. They just probably don't have social skills or shit like that. They probably only watch anime and play video games every hour of the day. And that's fine. Like, do you, bro? Like, you still ain't nothing wrong. Some of the anime is fun. I love anime and I like video games, so I get it. So but yeah. So I didn't want I didn't want them to die. So yeah, I feel that. So with that, it was just really written well. The cast meshed really well. Like, everything about this was done really well. So for that, I have to I feel like I'm doing it a disservice giving it a 1. Like, I have to redo my horror my scale to add a horror comedy rating scale.
Yeah.
So if you want to come back for that one, we can definitely do that. But
for sure.
With that, I have to say thank you so fucking much for doing this with me, of course, as always. I appreciate you. I'm a little hungry, and
it is real. After you smoke a little bit, you get those little munchies start to
creep in. This whole damn episode, my ass is starving now.
Okay.
But yeah, of course, again, definitely let the people know where to follow you. Before I let
you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, B Chantel Catering. I have a website, bchantelcatering.com. That'll also lead you to all my socials too. So, everything B Chantel Catering.
Hey, okay, period. Hey, I already know where to fucking follow me. You know what? I don't care. I'll do a different ending. But
thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for doing it again, love. I'll hit you up for the second part of this one and for another movie. We'll figure it out. But I love you and have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
All right, so yes, that was our review and rating of The Blackening. Again, I will re-rate it later in the season once I create a horror comedy rating scale. But until then, don't forget to follow the official Instagram page for the pod, @manofhorror_podcast. And please look out. I'm going to be running for Face of Horror again this year. Definitely going to need them votes. I made it pretty close last year, so this year I'm definitely taking that shit home. So look out for it. But yeah, stay spooky, folks. Peace.